Will Bitcoin drop to $10,000 per token, or will the Fed step in and do an emergency rate cut of 75 basis points? Today, I want to talk about why I believe neither of those things is going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Crypto Gorilla video. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice, and if you like this kind of content, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel reach a wider audience, which in turn is going to help your bags. So I assume by now you've heard dozens of reasons on why the markets are crashing. We saw Bitcoin go from over 60K to 49,000 in just a couple of days. ETH went as low as 2,100, and Solana had 8 red candles in a row, hitting as low as $110. Now, the market since then has bounced, with many of the tokens in the green over the last 24 hours. With the same thing across meme coins, a lot of them have bounced 10, 20, 30%, although they did take up to 50% hits. So most people are still down pretty bad. However, for once, the crash was not limited to crypto, as crypto is the only casino that is open 24/7. So when something happens on the weekend, we are the first house to burn. But if you take a look at the stock market, they also saw $1.4 trillion wiped out. And this really did seem like the perfect storm, with a ton of negative news happening at the same time, with Japan leading the charge. As you can see, the Nikkei, which tracks the 225 top companies in Japan, is down something like 28% over the last couple of weeks. Now, I am in no way an expert on this stuff, so I will try to explain it to the best of my abilities. But the TLDR is that the Japanese yen has been at a 0% interest rate since 2008, meaning banks can borrow for absolutely free. And a lot of people were taking advantage of this to borrow the yen, switch it to another currency, and invest in the stock market, in crypto, get a good yield off of it, whatever way they can make money. However, while all this was happening, the Japanese yen was losing a ton of value and their economy was suffering. So they ended up raising rates by 25 basis points, which is 0.25%, and people started to rush to pay back their loans. However, as you can see by this chart, which represents the strength of the US dollar compared to the yen was increasing in value, because where a few weeks ago you can get 161 yen for $1, now you can only get 144, which means if you took out a loan of $1 million in yen and then swapped it for USD, if you now want to swap back, you are missing 15% of that value. So in order to make whole on your loan, you need to go out and purchase some yen, which causes the price to go even higher. So everybody started to dump their assets in order to pay back their loan, which caused panic. And then more people who don't even have loans started to dump, thinking they were front running the market. Now throw this in with all the other negative stuff that's been happening. Now mix this together with no rate cuts at the last FOMC meeting, worse than expected job numbers on top of corrections in the last 6 job number reports, and a huge boost in the probability of a Kamala Harris presidency, and we get the markets on fire. Now, as for crypto, I know there was also Jump Trading, which is a trading firm who is often accused of being in cahoots with exchanges in order to force liquidations. We're dumping millions in crypto, causing even more sell pressure. The dump in price was insane. I was getting pings on my phone every few minutes. Bitcoin at 56K, at 55, 54. I wasn't even able to keep up with it. It was dropping so quickly. Now I am seeing a few things trending. The first one is this video from Jeremy Siegel on Squawk Box, where he's calling for an emergency rate cut of 75 basis points, as well as another 75 basis point cut during the September FOMC meeting, which is actually the first expected rate cut of the year, which is going to be happening in 43 days from today. But if we scroll down, you could see there is currently a 30% chance that we are getting a 25 basis point reduction and a 70% chance that we are getting a 50 basis point reduction. Of course, these are just estimates. It doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. And the same thing is expected to happen in November. So we have gone from one expected 25 basis point rate cut all the way, I'm seeing 6 rate cuts before the end of the year. Now, while I do like that the rate cuts are going to be starting, I don't agree with this emergency Fed meeting to cut 75 basis points today and then 75 basis points in September. I do think it would actually be bearish if they did this. It would signal that things are much worse than they actually are. Job numbers are horrible, and we're actually in a recession, which would cause the market to dump even more if you use the data from the last 3 rate cuts. And I also don't feel it makes sense to have emergency rate cuts here. The Fed doesn't care that our magic internet money is down 30%. They don't care if the stock market took a 5% cut in one day. I think they would only do that if things got much, much worse. But if you look at the overall year, Bitcoin is still up 30% and the stock market is still up something like 20%. So if you zoom out, things are a lot better than we actually think they are. It's just because we had such a sharp correction in such a small period of time. Now, the next question I'm getting asked is, should I sell my crypto? Have you stabled up? Are we going to zero? People are very scared of losing all of the gains that they've made this year. Maybe they bought Bitcoin at 65K and they're now in this mode of trying to time the bottom. And if you didn't sell at 68K, which we had, I believe, 6 or 7 opportunities to do that this year, I don't know why you would be selling here. In my mind, nothing has changed. The bull market is still on, and I very much expect to see 100K Bitcoin in the next 6 to 12 months. So I personally have not sold anything. I am not stabling up. I do have 10% of my bag in stables to buy these kind of dips. And the only thing I'm doing here is DCAing into Solana because I'm still underexposed to Solana. And this is a great dip for me to get in. Yes, it does hurt very much for the entire market to crash. This is the most money I have ever lost in such a small period of time. However, I fully expect to recover it because all my bags are in spot. I am not leverage trading. I did not get liquidated, so I'm not panicking. Now, it is going to be very interesting once all of the data for the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs come in. So far on the day, we've seen 168 million in outflows. Of course, a portion of this is due to Grayscale, which we expect outflows every single day. We have not seen the numbers yet for BlackRock, which is the largest ETF for Bitcoin. So it will be interesting to see if they were buying or if they were selling. Same thing for Ethereum. We do not have the info for BlackRock. However, at least it is positive inflows for the day at $1.7 million, which is nothing. But again, it's better than negative. Now, just because I'm not selling and just because BlackRock isn't selling, it doesn't mean it's not a good idea for you to sell. I don't know your situation. I don't know if you don't have enough money to pay rent or feed your kids. So if that's the case, it could be a really good idea to take chips off the table. I'm just saying I'm not panicking here, and I'm certainly not going to try to sell and time a bottom, because even though it's very possible we go down to 40K or less Bitcoin, especially with a war looming between Iran and Israel, I have no idea what's going to happen, nor does anybody on the timeline telling you what price we're going to go to or saying the bottom is in and then 20 minutes later Bitcoin nuked $3,000 more. But what I do believe is this image that I am seeing trending on Twitter. A ton of people posted it, and along the way to the top there are going to be these harsh corrections. A lot of people are saying we're in this period right here, which does cause a lot of people to freak out. Here it's called a bear trap. Again, we might go lower, so maybe it's not a bear trap, but I fully well expect the price to explode and go over 100K Bitcoin. Solana is going to be higher, ETH, a ton of meme coins, pretty much everything is going to be higher. It's just a question of what multiple are you going to get on your money based on the token that you're in. Now, you won't like me saying this, but I do think it is a good thing that we had this correction. I think we were way too quickly in easy mode. If you look at this tweet I posted, in just a matter of 5 days, every single day we were seeing meme coins come out of pump.fun, which is a site where anybody can make a meme coin in 15 seconds. And all of these coins were pulling insane multiples, 10x, 50x, 100, 500x on some of these tokens. And everybody thought they were a genius and it was so easy to make money. So this was a great reminder to take money off the table and that this can end very quickly. As for NFTs, personally, I'm not buying anything, even though we had double-digit corrections on most major NFTs. The only ones that I'm buying are things that are going to get me an airdrop or that are used to farm airdrops, like the tennis champs. I've spoken about these ones multiple times, so I'm sure you're aware what they are, but these are the airdrops that I have been farming every single day. I've been playing both games for super champs. I've been farming GOAT Gaming, and especially game 7. If you are farming any of these games, you need to sign up to Game 7. This is essentially going to give you a 2-for-1 airdrop because they reward you for playing other people's airdrop campaigns. So I look at this stuff as a great way to grow your bag risk-free, as they will reward you for playing games. So if you're panicking, if you need some time away from the charts, this is a great way to make money and not panic. And I will be dropping tutorials for both GOAT Gaming and Game 7 in the near future. As for ordinals, which is the other type of NFT, I always get asked, are you buying ordinals here? They are down extremely bad. Like, I remember node monkeys were almost at 1 Bitcoin. They're currently under 0.1. Same thing for Bitcoin puppets. Weren't these like at half a Bitcoin at 0.07? And we even got ordinal maxi biz at 0.14. Like, they are down so bad. Personally, I am not buying any of these, not because I'm not bullish on NFTs or ordinals. I just don't see why these kind of NFTs would outperform the rest of the market unless some major event happens. Unless Elon Musk or Trump or something says, I love ordinals and these are the ones I'm buying. But for me personally, I would rather stick to crypto, to meme coins, or to NFTs that are backed by something, backed by a token airdrop, or I know I'm going to get some sort of value out of it versus just collecting it and hoping somebody else wants to collect it too. So I could understand you wanting to collect them while prices are down. But again, unless there's some major event that happens, I don't see why these would outperform the rest of the market in the short term. And that does it for today's video. I hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comments down below what you want to see in future videos. If you haven't already done so, would you kindly hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification. Thank you for watching the Crypto Gorilla. Peace.